Hey everybody, and welcome to the Get Speaking English Coffee and Crossword stream. My name is Axel, and while we wait for the stream to begin, let me quickly explain how this activity works and give you some information that will help you do it. So, during the stream, we will go through a crossword similar to the one you see on the screen right now. I'm going to guide the conversation by letting you know which question will work on when. I'm going to explain the question to you, maybe give you some definitions, and then I'm going to give you additional clues, other information, hints, maybe some images to help you figure out the answer with me. So, when you think you know an answer, go ahead and put it in the chat. You'll be able to participate on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. The addresses are all available on the screen. So don't be shy if you think you know an answer. Put it in the chat, and when I see a correct answer, I will add it on the board and we will fill out the crossword together that way. So before we begin though, there are a few important rules that you should know specifically about this stream so we can all have a good time. So my first major rule is no cheating. So don't use the internet unless I tell you to. So we could Google the answers if we want or use websites. We're not going to do that though. We're going to work together instead. So please do not use the internet unless I tell you to do so. Secondly, please follow the conversation. So for example, if we are talking about question number 3, don't start talking about question 19. Also, too, please be patient. We may take some detours along the way. I love to talk about additional vocabulary, phrases, other things that are related to what's in the crossword. So just please be patient. Try to stay with the group and don't ruin it for others. Finally, please be nice to one another. Like I said, you'll be able to participate on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, but let's create a nice, friendly learning environment where people feel like they can participate without judgment and have a good time. So those are my main rules for playing this game. Now I'm going to give you some additional information specifically about this crossword to help you complete it. So the first useful thing to know is that this is an American crossword. So that means that American spelling and vocabulary is going to be used. So you can see on the screen right now some differences between American and British spelling. There are many others. This is just a small sample of some of the differences. There are also differences in the choice of vocabulary, in some of the phrases, some of the slang is different. So usually this crossword uses American English. It's also worth knowing that any of the trivia is usually about the United States, so about American history, American geography. However, we won't need to know much trivia. Thankfully, the majority of the questions in this crossword are about language, they're about English, so we won't need to know a lot about trivia. It's also really helpful to know that the answers match the questions. So the answers will always use the same type of word and the same word form as the word in the question. So for example, if there is a plural in the question, there will be a plural in the answer. If there's an abbreviation in the question, there will be an abbreviation in the answer. So all of that is extremely helpful. Sometimes you will see me put little S's or EDs in places, and that's just good information for us to know to fill out the board faster. Keep that in mind too when you are answering, that your answer should always use the same type of word and the same word form as the question. Also, multiple word answers are okay in this crossword. So sometimes the answer could be a phrasal verb, maybe part of a common phrase or an idiom, part of a sentence. Some of the longer ones are titles of books, titles of movies. This crossword does not indicate when something is a multiple word answer. However, I am usually quick to spot them. I will let you know if something is a multiple word answer, but do keep in mind when you are thinking about the answers to the questions that multiple word answers are possible. Finally, too, because we are here to review English, we're here to learn new words and vocabulary as well. It's important to know that there are words in this crossword that we can't really use in real life. So some of the words are just archaic, they're outdated, they're old-fashioned. Some of them are very formal or used only in very specific contexts. I will try to let you know if you can't use something, and I'll try to give you an alternative expression instead. I'll also let you know when you could use something in a specific context, but do keep that in mind, that there are words in this crossword that even I, as a native English speaker, would never use in real life during a conversation. Anyway, so that's it. Like I said, don't be shy. Go ahead, jump in. The more you participate, the faster this crossword will go, so I do appreciate your help. Also, don't hesitate to ask questions about any of the words we talk about or any of the phrases we discuss. I always love having a good language discussion, so put your questions in the chat. I will try to address them. Finally, if you enjoyed this activity, please give this video a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to the channel or following my Facebook page so you don't miss any future streams. Also, please tell other people about this stream. The more people we can get out, the better. It grows the community, and it will let me host even more free live streams, free events, and other additional affordable group activities for English learners. So thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you being here, and I love when you participate. And get ready, because we are going to start soon. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are. My name is Axel. It's morning here. I'm really tired. Anyways, and I'm here to do a crossword. So welcome to the stream. We are going to do the crossword on the screen here. Welcome, Jacqueline. It's good to see you. Yeah, so I'm live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Sorry, I'm going to remember where I am really quickly. We are very soon. Yeah, so I'm on like live right now, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. You can come play with me, help me complete this crossword in any of those locations. Although I think it's fastest on YouTube. Apparently, you guys can respond quickest on YouTube. So yeah, so hop on over to YouTube if you are on Twitch or something and you want to participate in real time as fast as possible. You can do that. But yeah, we're gonna go through this crossword like the little video said. I'm gonna direct the conversation. I will explain the question. I will give you guys some additional clues, hints, things like that, so you guys can figure out the answer with me. And then if you think you know an answer, put it into the chat. And then when I see the answer, I will put it on the board. I will complete the crossword that way, or we will complete the crossword that way. So so this is today's crossword. I did check it out. It's a little tricky. We might not finish it. But that's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Also, they changed the layout of this website, and I don't think I'm a fan because now this crossword is kind of little. I don't really like it as much since it's like this now, but anyways, I can't really change it. I don't think there's option to change it. Maybe. I guess I could like fiddle with the settings. I don't know. Oh, there's sounds. Anyways, place clues as a list. Oh, I know what that is. Oh yeah, let's not do that. Anyways, yeah, so they changed this. Anyways, it's fine. I think it's still big enough. We'll all be able to read it. So maybe it's a little bit better because now everything is smaller on the screen, so I won't accidentally cut off part of it. Anyways, let's get right to it. Enough rambling. Let's get right to it and see what we can do. I think we'll be able to get the majority of these, but there are like one or two that I did not know. Okay. All right, we're cool. We're good to go. So let's say like burlap. Burlap is a type of fabric. Let's do this one maybe. This is trivia. Let's do this one. Maybe a brunch dish. Brunch is basically a meal. It's kind of like a meal, not a meal that we eat all the time, but basically a meal between breakfast and lunch that might happen. And so typically at a brunch, you would serve a lot of food you might find at breakfast, but then you might also drink like little alcoholic beverages and things like that, like mimosas and stuff like that. Different things like that. So yeah, and I think this dish in particular, whatever this is a classic dish made with eggs. So we could think of a couple egg dishes, or if you have an idea as to which one that you think it might be, put it in the chat. Like I said, you can play on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. I'm watching in all of those locations. I think this dish is kind of the one where you would mix the eggs together and then you maybe would you could kind of like fry it, maybe put some stuff in the middle of it as well. Fold it over, sort of deal. So a classic dish made with eggs. I'm gonna get a picture of what I'm talking about, maybe. maybe like one of these. I think it's gonna be one of these. Is it an American dish? I feel like there are different styles of this in various parts of the world. So yeah, in America, but also I know that there are you know, there's like French style of these, and there's also cool like Japanese ones. Hey, Nicole, welcome. Good day. No, don't worry about it. It was like so late. It's like 3 a.m. for you. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. That's funny. He fell asleep. Omelet is exactly omelet. Exactly. This would be what I would say is the traditional sort of American omelet, right? But I know that there's a couple different ones, right? So yeah, a couple different styles of omelet. We might call this one a French omelet, a French style omelet. There's also the cool there's also cool yeah, all sorts of different omelets. Anyways, in different parts of the world. Let's put omelet. Alright. Gotta do that. And ticket souvenir. Pal for Pedro. Spanish word for a pal is a friend, right? So I think we want a the Spanish word for friend, basically. Do you happen to know what that one is? Amigo. Yes, amigos. Let's put amigo in here. Tell you, I don't like this because it's so small for me. I hate that they changed it. Anyway, maybe I just don't like change. Okay, amigo. Yes, we have an amigo. And there, sense of self. A word that we might use. This word is often used in psychology. That's used to refer to the self. So refers to the self, one's sense of self, you know. Ego, exactly. I think ego is gonna be this word here. Awesome. Yes, ego. And we might also say that somebody who is full of themselves, somebody who thinks that they are really amazing, or they're just like have like a real overblown sense of importance or something like that. We might say that they also are an ego as well. So they have a big head, basically. Tall boots, don't know. But room design. So room design. This is a word comes up a lot when we're talking about maybe interior design, for example. Interior design being another way that we would talk about designing rooms in a house, like the look. I think we're kind of what a word that has to do almost with you know, maybe like choosing what goes into the room, the furniture, maybe the curtains, the colors, maybe the textures of any fabrics and stuff that goes in there. Decor, yes, I think decor is going to be this word here. Decor. And say for the you know, the decoration, we can see that these words are kind of related to one another. So decoration, accent here, but decor, the accent here, exactly. So let's put decor in here. Yes. Like burlap. I think this has to do with how burlap is made. I'm gonna get a picture of burlap. Burlap is a fabric. It's a type of fabric that's typically used for, that's used often for making, like, bags that you store, things in, like wheat and grain and stuff like that. But it's kind of has this very particular texture. And I don't know if you can see this. You can kind of see this texture here, right? But I think this word has to do with sort of how we could describe almost like the texture of this fabric, where you can kind of clearly see how the pieces of, how the threads are sort of put together. So something like that. We have, what did I do here? There we go. Something. Oh, something. Something. Also, another little bit of a hint too. This is because it's an adjective here, so it's going to be an adjective, and it's like a participle, past participle. So it's going to be the past participle of something. Basically, maybe like the verb tells us a little bit about how this fabric was made. And it's an irregular verb as well, too. A little bit of a hint might be, you know, we could think of the base verb here. I don't know. But basically, like how it was made. Exactly. Woven, I think, is going to be our word here. So burlap is woven, and I was going to say you would weave fabric. So, and this is one of those irregular verbs. It's a great one. So to weave, wove, and then woven are our conjugations. Exactly. So let's put woven in here. Cool. Oh, I see. Let's go back to this, maybe this little ticket souvenir. So a souvenir is something that's maybe left over that you would sort of keep. Right, it's typical maybe to get a souvenir while you're on vacation to remember where you went, right? Something you keep to, so you can remember something, right? So, so kind of loosely, if you go to a concert, for example, so, you know, if you go to a concert, for example, they will take your ticket, right? And usually they will tear part of the ticket off, and then you will get to keep part of the ticket. So they will take your ticket, they will tear off part of it. Sometimes, maybe less so these days because everything is digital. But once upon a time, they would tear off part of it, and you keep whatever this thing is. This something T something something. I'm gonna see if I can get a picture. Yeah, you can kind of see like so this is just an illustration, right? But you can see these little tickets here. And they have this little, we would call this as like a perforated, it's like perforated, so it has a little dot, so it's easy to rip. And then whatever this is, the little part that you get to keep is whatever this word is. This could be a new word. Could totally be a new word. Anyways, this thing, this little thing, the part that you keep. Maybe I'll get a picture here because apparently there are templates online for making these things. This here, the thing that you keep is called a stub. A stub. So a ticket stub is the part that you get to keep of your ticket. So I'm gonna put a stub in here. Ticket stub. Yeah, so kind of random word, but that is what it is called. Let's see, old auto. I think these boots, so these boots, W-A-D something S. These boots are used for walking in water. I think they're the very tall ones, right? They are very tall. And, you know, at least here, they're often made of rubber. Usually, or something like that. The root word here. It describes that act of kind of moving, of kind of walking through water. So if you know what that verb is, that's kind of gives us a little bit of a hint. So the root word describes the act of walking through water. Usually when it maybe comes up to your knees or something like that, right? So it's a little bit difficult to walk through the water. Yeah, maybe like knee deep water, whatever that is. See if I can get a picture, maybe. Here, because I live by the ocean, people will wear them to fish and stuff. So many pictures. Yeah, like maybe like I don't know what this guy's doing. So this guy is kind of walking through water. So to walk through water like this when it's kind of up pretty high, that would be to wade. You would wade in water. And so I think these might be called waders. So I just gonna put that in there. So to wade though is a great word. So if you wade through water, it means that you kind of like walk through water that's fairly deep and you walk through it as opposed to swimming in it. All right. What else can we do here? Like Loki. Loki is like a god, right? From a particular type of mythology. God in a specific type of mythology. This type of mythology it's mythology, like very old world mythology in one of those one of the Nordic country, North European countries. So it is northern, it is north. So, but a specific of a country in the north. It's a country of a northern country, European country. That helps. So this is we're basically looking for like a word of a nationality here. One of the Nordic European countries. So super close, not Nord, but it's gonna be Norse. Of Norse mythology, so of like Norway. I believe. Is that right? I think so. Once upon a time. Yes, Norse, Nordic, or Scandinavian mythology. Exactly. Alright. Okay. So let's put that there. Payment to a new. A twisty fish. Twisty fish. One of those long fishes that look almost like a snake. I think that's what we want. So a fish that looks like a snake. Almost. An eel, exactly. And if you want to know the word of twisty, so I should probably explain. Something that twists and turns, does not go in a straight line. Let's see if I can get a picture of maybe a twisty road or something. Here we go. Here is an example of a twisty road, just to get the idea. So it doesn't go straight, right? So the eel also doesn't really, it likes to sort of like move around and twist around, kind of like this road. So that's what twisty means. All right. Or trot. Watergate. Slightly. Tango or trot? So tango, or I think like foxtrot. Are examples of a type, I should say maybe are a type of whatever this thing is. So tango or foxtrot. Maybe I'll get a picture of a tango. Maybe people who are tangoing. Here are a couple people. They are doing the tango. Foxtrot is also a similar thing that you might do. Potentially. Kind of another style. Type of dance, exactly. Yeah, here are people also doing foxtrot. I was curious, so I looked it up. I don't know a lot about dancing, but they are types of dance. Exactly. Let's put dance in here. Great. And I don't know. I think I know what this is. Okay. Maze runner. So a maze is kind of like a, could be like a game. But it's kind of one of those things where there are a lot of paths and you have to figure out the correct way to go. So kind of like one of these things, for example. So here's a maze. So kind of like one of these things, right? And there's sort of like this classic thing where maybe they would put like cheese in the middle or somewhere. They put cheese, right? And then they would send certain animals to go through and try to locate the cheese. I think we are looking for the name of an animal. So we're looking for an animal that you'd put in a maze to find some cheese. And exactly, I think it is also a rat. So let's put a rat in here. I think that is right. Yeah, cause this looks good. Cause to catch some Z's, if you catch some Z's, this is a great sort of slang, like a very informal way to catch some Z's. Very informal way to say that you sleep for a very short period, maybe during the day. Exactly, a nap, I think. So if you gotta catch some Z's, you're gonna take a nap. Little short nap. I think the other day too, what was it, siesta? Also came up in the crossword. So another word that we might use to describe a nap as well. But we could also say to catch some Z's. That's kind of a great little funky little idiom to know. Yeah, I think this word, one we would use, well, slightly means like not a lot, right? So I think this is like a 2-word answer. A phrase that means, you know, slightly or not a lot, right? So kind of like another common one we might use. We want to say something, you know, hard to like say without using the answer. But yeah, another common little expression we might use to indicate a very small amount of something. A few. Yeah, a few. So I wouldn't describe, I'm gonna put it into a sentence, you know. It was, so something noisy last night. Something like that, maybe. So something like that, I think. Yeah, because words like a few, that's more for describing the quantity of something. But here we want to describe sort of the degree of something instead. So we're looking for a word of a degree instead of quantity. Yeah, a bit, exactly. So I think a bit is what this one's gonna be. Yeah, so it was a bit noisy last night. Okay. Arranged in columns. This column thing is a kind of a clue. Because a column, well, you can think of maybe columns in a spreadsheet, but I'm going to show you the column that I'm thinking of. what I think this relates to. Because a column can be kind of one of like it can be one of these things, right? So this is a column. These are columns, I should say. And they're kind of yeah, we're looking for a word if something was kind of had that shape, something that has the shape. This word is basically, it's like an adjective that describes having the shape of a column. That makes sense. So this is an adjective that says something has the shape of a column, right? So where it's kind of round, circular, but long as well. Something like that. Yeah. And typically, this word here, like the base word, not just kind of any column, but like an empty column. I don't know if that helps. Kind of like this, where it's kind of empty. So, yeah, this one's tricky. Might be tricky. I'll give you a hint. It starts with a T. We're gonna put a T here. We're gonna put a T here. But whatever this is called is kind of a good hint. Tubular! Exactly! Yeah, it says tubular, something arranged in columns. Like, what a freaking clue. But yeah, tubular is our answer. Yeah. We could also describe this as cylindrical as well, but tubular with the one that's kind of empty. Like pasta is tubular, for example. All right. Or certain pastas are tubular, I should say. Not all of them. With like penne, whatever. All right. Canal. Oh, this is wrong. Oh no! Okay. That's not right. Is this something else? Oh no! Can we think of another one? Like another word that also needs a bit? Can you guys think of another one? I'll give you a hint. It starts with a T. But same deal. It means like a little degree. This expression's a little bit less common. Yeah, another one. And to say too, while we're on this topic, also like a touch, you know, we might say it as touch. It's a touch noisy. It's a touch spicy. Maybe something like that. A tad, exactly, a tad. I think this one's actually a tad. So sorry I didn't spot that. I thought that was a bit, but this needs an A. I'm like, oh. All right. So a canal, yeah, canal is it's kind of a body of water. It's almost like a man-made river. I'm gonna describe it as sort of a man-made river. And there's a type of boat on here that you might find on a canal. They're usually used for transporting things. They're very big. They're very flat. Trying to get a picture. I think. A barge, yes. Exactly, a barge. Yeah, trying to get a picture here. I guess this one. This is an illustration, but yeah, this is a barge. Typically used for transporting things, and they're big, they're very wide, they're very flat. You can pile a bunch of stuff on them. And they're used for sort of transporting things from one location to another. Yeah. Usually used on rivers and things like that. All right. I wonder what this is. This is a T. I'm just gonna put that in here. Tubular. Enjoyed avidly. I don't know. Velocity, though. We can definitely come up with a synonym for velocity, I think. The velocity has to do with, basically how quick something goes from one location to another, right? So how quick something maybe travels, let's say, travels from one location to another. Speed, exactly. So this is speed. Speed. Oh, maybe this is wrong, or maybe there's sometimes there's mistakes in this crossword. Because I think this is actually supposed to be an A. Because this is supposed to be an A. That's cool. What a funny day for crosswords. Anyways, yeah, if you do something avidly, like you really, really, really liked it, right? If you're an avid listener to music, you do it all the time. Or if you're an avid sports fan, or an avid sports watcher, you watch it all the time. So avid, about doing something a lot, right? And there's kind of a phrasal verb we might use if you really enjoy something a lot. And obviously this is going to be a past form of this verb, but the phrasal verb means yeah, basically to really enjoy something. Basically, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to find that definition for this one, actually. This is kind of interesting. Because it's not in the Cambridge one, but this is definitely a use. If you really love something. Ate up, yes. Yeah. We could use it to mean that you thoroughly enjoy something. Yeah. So they ate it up. They loved it, we might say. So to eat something up. Yeah. Here, let's put this in a sentence so we can see how we might use it. So when anyone showers the baby with love and affection, she just eats it up. She loves it. So great. Yeah. Or here as well. So great job on the presentation. The board, so the board of directors, the people who manage the organization, the board is going to eat it up. They are going to love it. They're going to think it's really great. So ate up. We're gonna put there. So yeah, so that's kind of a cool use of that. Funny it wasn't in the dictionary I use. Anyways, but yeah, that's a thing we will say. Oregon City. So I wonder if we know what this is. This Watergate. evidence. I remember, like, way back, this is a recording device. An old recording device. An old recording device. The ones that sort of came out before you know my crosswords, that's really great. Yeah, I really like this activity. I think this is really great. This is a really good one. Yeah, this old recording device that came out before CDs even and things like that. Tapes with Nixon, exactly. Yeah. So let's put tapes in here. There you go. Yeah, so tapes, old school, old school, here are some, I mean, not that it matters, but here are some cassette tapes, and, videotapes as well, some different types of tapes. Videotapes, yes, so all of these old formats for recording things. I think this is right. What is Oh, I see what this is. Tricky. Because I would think that the purpose of something would be the use of something, right? Like what you use something for. But here I think actually this word here has to do like the outcome of something, like the reason why you do something. So this word here, when we say purpose, here instead, like not necessarily like why, like why or like what you use something for, but like your goal, the final goal. So basically the goal of something. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm gonna get a I'm going to get a different definition. Because it's a super common word, but this is a less common use of this word though. But yeah, basically the aim or the intention or the purpose of something. I'd like to put this in a sentence. That would be good. Yeah, there's kind of sort of like almost like an idiom, like an expression that we would use this in too. It is end. Yeah. Yeah, end here. So, you know, what end do you have in mind or what purpose do you have? Here, for example, he wanted science students to take an interest in the arts, and to this end, so basically, so he could do this, he ran literature classes at his home on Sunday afternoons. Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting use of the word, and a lot less common than how we usually use it. Also here too, do you have a particular end in mind? Do you have a particular outcome or goal in mind? Yeah, so tricky, but a kind of a cool use of the word end here. Yeah, all right, cool. I think this word, this is like a 2-letter word. So you would breed animals to make more animals, right? And the stud, if you're breeding animals, that's like the male animal in a, I guess, a breeding pair of animals, if that makes sense. So you would typically maybe sell, you would pay because this is a payment. Something, this is something money related. You might be able to take a guess as to what that is. Some sort of payment. So you might be able to guess what that is, but it's a money word. We often get this word actually, maybe, well, at least here, well, kind of. But when we're talking about bills and stuff like that, actually, maybe like additional extra charges, maybe. Another word for a charge, maybe, right? So maybe, you know, on your phone bill, you might have all these extra little things you get charged for. So we might find that word there as well. Or also too, maybe like if you have to go to see the doctor, maybe you might have to pay some sort of money to see a doctor. That sort of thing. There is an F here. I'm gonna put an F here. And wait, fee. I think we're going to pay a fee, a stud fee. So a fee is basically just like a little payment that you would make. Yeah, all right. So due would usually be if something is due, like as an adjective, it means that it needs to be done, or maybe you owe money as well, something like that. Dues. Membership dues. Basically, money you would pay as to be part of some sort of organization, maybe. Money you would pay to be part of an organization. So that is definitely another example maybe of a fee or something, dues. So, but this word here, yeah, we're gonna use the word fee here, I think. That's what that's gonna be. Actually, this one's kind of interesting. This is kind of a math thing. This is a math one. So 2 words. I think I have enough. But these here, I wonder if I could write it. Like, could I make like the little thing? I don't know. Anyways, a perfect square. Yes, thank you. I was trying to make this like the square sign. Exactly. Both of these numbers are perfect squares. So basically, you know, 8 times 8, 64. What, 10 times 10? Yeah, 10 by 10. 100, exactly. And these are all perfect squares. We would say, you know, this, 8 squared, for example. Wish I could get it. See if I can. Okay, here we go. Yeah, where we might write it like this. There we go. Exactly. So we would say that these are perfect squares. Or these are square. Okay, cool. Nice. We're doing pretty good, I think. An ornate vase. Yes, exactly. Yes, also a perfect square. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a good one. And an ornate vase. Well, something ornate, very decorative, right? Something ornate. Has a lot. Decoration. And a vase is kind of, usually like a vase is something you might put flowers in, right? So something you put flowers in. Usually, but I think, this is kind of like a vase, actually, that you might, so kind of like another word for a vase, but something that you might keep something in, actually. This is a vase that you would keep something in. Something, a vase that you keep things in. Actually, it's kind of really common if, well, I don't know, like there, but here, if somebody dies, maybe you get the body cremated instead of burying it, but you might get it cremated, which means that they heat the body very high temperature, make it into ashes, and then they would put the ashes in whatever the heck this thing is called, which starts with an U. Sorry, it starts with a U. So an urn, exactly. Yes, this is an urn. A very fancy, ornate vase, or vase, I should say too. Some people will say vase. I say vase. Both are acceptable, vase and vase. And this is an urn. The other way that I see the word urn used is maybe for when, like, the big things, like the large things that they serve coffee in, you know, when you get catering done, or maybe, you know, at a hotel or something. But yeah, usually, you know, at big events, if they have to serve many cups of coffee or something, they will have these things. These are also called urns. This is a coffee urn. So another use of the word urn as well. So if you ever need to get one of those, that is a coffee urn. Status something. Status, so the status, whatever this is, it's basically the regular way things are going, basically, right? Like just like this present sort of situation, present trends, right? The status quo, exactly, right? Yes, exactly. And we might typically say you maintain the status quo, right? So you want to keep things the way they are. You don't want to change things. But the status quo, let's do that. Swelled. Copier, cutters, wise saying. I don't know if we're gonna know this one. I know what this is, but I just think this will be a new word for us. Listens to. This might be a good one. Listens to. This one's a little bit trickier, maybe. So you can, you know, hear, I think, like, you might think that this means hears, right? Like, listen means to hear something, right? I'm gonna put an S here. If there's an S here. But I think what this actually means, this here, this listens to, it's kind of when you take advice. This is a word we use if we take somebody's advice, when we actually listen to what they say, We follow their advice. So listens and follows someone's advice. So we're looking for a sort of a kind of an interesting word about following advice. And it's often this word gets used for warnings as well. Yeah, we would say to is that right? Yes. Advice or a warning. So not here's, yeah, but similar though. This might be a new word for us, maybe. But collocation with these words. This is a good one to know. We don't know this one. That'll be good. It does start with an H though. It does start with an H. Put an H in here. So this is going to be heed. You would heed advice or heed a warning. Great. Call it a little collocation. Let's put in a sentence. Here we go. So the airline failed to heed warnings about security, so they failed to listen to the warnings about security. Or here as well, perhaps they should have heeded their own advice, so perhaps they should have followed their own advice. Sounds like they did something different. But yeah, basically means to sort of pay attention, follow some advice. Also here, another great little collocation here as well too. In this example sentence, voters are dissatisfied and Congress should take heed. If you take heed, that means that you should listen or consider. So some great words here, or great collocations here with the word heed. But yeah, to heed advice means to listen to advice, or to listen to a warning. Cool. A buck is a deer. That's what this is. A buck is a male deer with the big antlers, right? And I think we are looking for the word for a female deer. That is basically what we are looking for here. I'm gonna get a picture of a buck really quickly. Dun, dun, dun. Stag is another word for a male deer as well. Here it is. Here's a buck. But a female one. I was talking to somebody about weddings yesterday, and this word came up because it is also often used, I mean, not always, but sometimes this word is part of a larger sort of another expression we use for the celebration that might happen before a wedding. Doe, exactly, yeah. And before a wedding, somebody might have either a stag or doe party. So that is something. So a stag party. Another word for a buck is a stag. Another word for a male deer. So they might go out, have some parties, like last minute
debauchery with their male friends, and then the brides might have a stag and doe, sort of like a party to celebrate the couple, basically. All right. Make so more tender. I think here when they're talking about tender, they are talking about, in this case at least, they are talking about pain in the body, because if you have overused your muscles, for example, you will feel tender the next day. So we're kind of looking for a word basically to indicate that you hurt more than you did yesterday, right? Because this is kind of a comparison, a comparative adjective, right? More tender. So you hurt more than you did yesterday. Looking for another way we might say that. If you have a lot of aches and pains. Aches and pains, we might say. Another great collocation. I'm gonna put the comparison part in here. So it's an adjective. So sore is right. And if we're gonna be more sore than we were the day before, we could say sorer. So I'm a lot sorer today compared to yesterday. Yeah. It's sore in itself is already an adjective, so we wouldn't really need to add a D to that one. But we can take sore, we can turn it into a comparative adjective, and say that you are sorer. Hey, yeah. Kind of an interest. That's a good one. Copier powders. The copier, it's like a piece of office equipment, right? Used to make copies, right? But they don't use printer ink. They use something else, right? So these are used in copiers instead of printer ink. Toners, exactly. Toner is the stuff that goes into the copier, and it is essentially a powder or something. Yeah, so toner is the stuff, we call that. And this one, something that swelled gets bigger. So something that's swelled has gotten bigger. So this too is sort of a word about getting bigger, but this is more like a word for there was a sudden great, like a large increase. Yeah. Like, they use this word often, maybe talking about increases in prices, for example. So if prices increase suddenly, they will use this word to describe it. We could also use it to describe water, actually, and I think that's the source of it, this word, actually. Because if the tide comes in very quickly, we will also use this word. But yeah, it's big, sudden increase of something. Maybe I'll put it in a sentence. I don't know if that'll help. Something like this, since we usually use it for money. Surged, exactly. Yes, surged. So surged as there was like suddenly got really big. Yes, so surged. Housing prices have surged recently, or inflation has surged. It's gotten really big really quickly, or it has swelled up. So that's a little bit tricky of a tricky question, or yeah. Rein for rover. So a rein is something that you would put on usually a horse, right? To control it. The reins of a horse. So the reins of the horse are this thing. Specifically, the ropes that you hold onto are the reins. Are the ropes you hold on to control a horse. This part here is called the bridle, but these are the reins that you hold on to. We're looking for a word for that you would use with a dog instead. So the name of a rope you would use to control your dog with, or to make sure your dog doesn't run away. So a rope you would use to make sure your dog doesn't run away or get in trouble, right? Yeah, so whatever that rope is. And welcome. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but yeah. Definitely. Yeah, so we're going through the crossword. I am explaining the questions, giving some alternative hints, and then when I see the answers, I'm adding them to the crosswords. So a couple people are on YouTube, actually. So that's where most people are. But yeah, if you think that you know the answer, let me know and I will put it in the chat, or I will add it to the board. So we're looking for the name of that rope that we might use to control a dog. And I say rope. It's not always rope, but you know, kind of attaches to the collar, right? Or maybe a little harness. A harness would go around the body. Yeah, this is typically, this is for people who are learning English. So, I appreciate that, though. No worries. What are these things? This rope we can use to control the dog. It starts with an L. I will give you that much. We'll put this L in here. A leash, exactly. Leash is going to be our rein for Rover, our dog leash. So there we go. So let's put that in here. I know, yeah, some of these are pretty tricky. Yeah. I have a very advanced level students, so it's really great. Yeah, so an adage or an adage, I say adage. Yeah, a wise saying. Let's see, what else we got here? So course number, this is a golf reference, this here. So I don't know if you guys play golf. Water channel. Crop destroyers. I think we can get this one, actually. These are sort of insects that are notorious for destroying crops. Crops being things that are food, basically food stuff, right? Things that are grown that we eat, right? So for example, maybe corn or wheat, stuff like that, right? And we're looking for a name of an insect that's particularly bad and known for destroying crops. One of these guys, they're almost like big grasshoppers. Yeah, they swarm, exactly. Swarm every so often, right? Yeah, they're kind of interesting because they go dormant for a really long time, don't they? Like several years, and then they come out all at once. Is that right? Maybe I'm confusing them with what is it, cicadas? The other ones? But yeah, they're really kind of really fascinating. Now you have me curious. And apparently there's like a temperature thing that determines whether they actually come out as locusts or grasshoppers, which is also kind of really fascinating. Like, they're so weird. Yeah, those are different. Yeah. Yeah, they have a swarming phase. Yeah. So, whatever these are called. These, this starts with an L. Locusts! There it is. Locusts. Yes. This one, right? There we go. Locusts. Yeah. Yeah, they're very fascinating insects. Yeah. All right. Appears. Yeah, this is easy. Easy word. Synonym for appears. Synonym for appears, or you know, like one of them. There might be an S in it, because we can see here that there are Peruvian peaks, so we might want an S here. Synonym for appears. Yeah, cicadas, yeah, I don't think they swarm quite like locusts do. Yeah. I think I was confusing because I was confused because I know that cicadas go hybrid, they go underground for a really long time. So I was thinking that maybe locusts were similar, but maybe not. But yeah, they're really kind of like really fascinating. Yeah, so synonym for appears. I gotta put an S here. Almost like looks, right? Could be another one, right? But I think this one is going to be seems in the same order as locusts. Yeah, they're quite different. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that they're directly related to one another. Yeah, let's see though, like how long they go underground for. They come out every year. Scenes! Exactly. Yes. Let's put scenes in here. And And then, or maybe we should have done this one first, but that's fine. The mountain range in around Peru, right? Peru. Here we can see Peruvian. So we can see that it's related to Peru, right? A country in South America, right? I can spell. So, country is South America, and a peaks here. Peaks typically refer to the top of mountains, right? Tops of mountains. Exactly, the Andes. Andes. And notice, too, that I've used the article here, because we always say the Andes or the Rockies, the Alps. We always say the with mountain ranges. Andes are our Peruvian peaks. Great job. I don't know what this one is. This one was in the crossword the other day. Or a similar one. Bulls or bucks? So, a bull and a buck are both, you know, they're males, right? They're male animals, right? But I think this is a little bit different. They are also examples of something else. Exactly. They are examples of teams. They are sports teams. Yes. I think that's what that is. Yeah. So good memory. And I think that one got me last time too. That's like a tricky little clue there. I think we might be able to get this one. To foster something basically means to like care for something. Really care for something to make sure that it kind of grows, right? So yeah, you foster something, you care for it, so it basically grows and develops in a very positive way. So we're kind of looking for another sort of very similar word, also to do with maybe taking care of something, making sure that something gets everything it needs, is cared for in a way so that it can also grow up, develop, maybe flourish. That's kind of a great word. So really grow and thrive. But yeah, another word for caring, basically. Here's an official definition. To take care of or to feed or protect something, especially young children or plants. So, yeah. Great little word here about taking care of things. It's funny too, sometimes they talk about, you know, they might debate if certain things are due to nature or whatever this is as well too. So debating whether you know, something is influenced by how it was treated while growing up versus if it was born that way. Which is also kind of an interesting collocation where we see this word. Might use it when talking about child development, something like that. Which do you believe has the strongest influence on how children develop? Nature or whatever this is, the collocation. Or like the little phrase. think this one is going to be nurture. So you nurture something. You take care of it. Maybe protect it. Give it everything you need, or everything it needs so it can grow. You care for it in a very, give it things. Treat it in a very caring way. And they might, some people might debate if the characteristics of somebody's or personality is due to either nature or nurture. So whether something, if you were born with something versus if you develop it because of how you were treated growing up. So it's kind of interesting. All right. Reporters hope. What do reporters hope for? Reporters, these are people who report on the news, right? Right? So they're always looking for news stories, right? For good news stories, right? And they probably want the scoop. Exactly. A very exciting news story, or maybe something that others haven't discovered yet, right? That would be a scoop, right? Basically, they would be the first the first ones to talk about something in the news. That would be really exciting. And I don't know if we're gonna get this one, but this is a golf reference. Yeah, this is a golf reference. I don't really play a lot of golf, but it's like, it has to do with like the number of I think the number of times you have to try to hit the ball. Par, thank you. I'm glad that I didn't have to overly explain that. So I'm like, I really play golf. But yeah, par. You typically try to do something under par. There you go. In golf, par is the expected number of times a good player should have to hit the ball in order to get into a hole. Yeah, so and the course here has to do with the golf course. I don't know what this one is, actually. Basil. Oh yeah. Chops into cubes. Chops into cubes. D, something. E. S. Chops into cubes, so a chopping word. Hey, are you still here, Ito? Over on Twitch. If you are, let me know, because I can't see. But I don't know what this one is, actually. So if you have a guess about what this one is, let me know. Dazzle. In this water channel, too. That one stumped me. But we know words for chopping things into pieces. Little squares, basically. Sort of what this person is doing. Dun, dun, dun. You see this person is chopping it into little perfect squares. They have really good they're using their hand really good. They have a very safe chopping style. Like what chefs actually use. Is it eclat? Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it. I wonder. Yeah, eh? Yeah, I don't know that word, eh? But maybe, eh? Okay, yeah. Eclat, interesting. Yeah, so I think you're right. That one is éclat. Cool. They would also, it typically has a accent, apparently. But éclat, yes. So that is a new one for me. For sure. So basically it has like something has a very strong, stylish effect. Put it in a sentence here. She broke into the music scene with great éclat. Yeah, nice. Nice. And then I think this one here is probably dices. It looks like they're dicing the food. I'll put that in there. This one too. I don't know what this one is. Clay. Yeah. 'Cause we could do this one. This heckler's cry. Hecklers are people who are usually part of an audience or something, and they are the people that kind of yell things because they are kind of upset about something, or they want to try to maybe ruin the show. So a heckler is someone who yells things during a show or performance in order to disrupt it. Yeah, they might yell boo, right? Exactly. Like if it's really bad, they'll start booing. Yeah, so let's put boo in here. And then this is kind of maybe not an interesting one, but I think we could get this one here. This logical thing. A paradox is kind of like a situation. Like a situation that seems maybe impossible to understand because there's sort of two maybe opposite characteristics or something, or there's two things that clash basically. Basically like they are opposites. Yeah, so we're kind of looking maybe for B-I-C Q something. This is gonna be a 2-word answer. C something. C R-C-L-E. What we might say if something just kind of goes round and around and around. It's just like this continuous unpleasant situation, where maybe one problem makes another problem worse and it just kind of snowballs, basically. So a continuous unpleasant situation where one thing makes another thing worse. Basically, circle, definitely the second word here, circle. So let's put circle here. Yeah, and this word here, this word is used if something is really, maybe really brutal, almost. Like really, it's usually more for like if something is really mean or something. But then we use it in this collocation too. For example, people who are this maybe act in ways that intentionally harm others. Maybe they're like really cruel or something like that. Soul is a Peruvian coin. Okay, cool. I like that you're like a trivia. That you know all these things. That's great. That's great. Okay, cool. So we have an S here. That's helpful. Almost like a good word for, yeah, something is really dangerous almost, maybe. causes a lot of great physical pain as well, too. Yeah, actually, probably, yeah, more like that, eh? Use to describe an object, condition, or remark that causes great physical or emotional pain. Yeah, I think this is more like this here. So, So I think this one is going to be vicious. Vicious. I-O-S. Yeah, and a vicious circle is a situation that gets just worse and worse. Maybe, you know, one thing happens and then something else happens, which makes the other thing worse. And it just kind of spirals like that. Here we go. Let's put it in a sentence, how I might use vicious circle here. So many people get caught or trapped in. So that would be the verbs we might use with this. Caught or trapped in a vicious circle of dieting and weight gain. So they'll diet for a bit, then they will gain the weight back, and then they will diet more, gain it way back. And the whole thing is just really unhealthy, right? So that is an example of a vicious circle. Cool. I have no idea what this is. This water channel? I don't know what this is. And I don't know what this is. Clay later. Clay is like it's kind of like mud, sort of, but like a type of I'm gonna say mud, but it's like a heavy, thick soil, right? Typically used for making sculptures, right? Potters might use clay. But I don't know what this is. So, if you're best, let me, I don't know, give me your best guess as to what this is, because I don't know. And this water channel, too. Or if you think you have an idea, too. Because I don't know. Water channel. I guess I could look up like names for water channels. A channel is again like sort of similar to a canal. Again, like another way that water would go. Maybe like a river or something. So that's what I mean by a channel here. I get some examples, pictures of maybe a water channel. Here is an example of a water channel used for farming or agriculture. So here, there must be like a word for this, and I just don't know what it is. Okay, let's see here. So we have a strait, not a strait. That is also a narrow waterway. Channel, canal, man-made channel for water. Agriporin? That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Unless I'm thinking about it in the wrong way, which sometimes... I wonder. So S, I don't know. I-C-E. See what else comes up. I hate Googling. I usually try to finish these without Googling. And I usually can get it. A sluice, apparently! A sluice gate. Oh, okay. I guess that is used in as part of a dam, I guess? Oh, okay. So that's kind of cool. So a sluice gate refers to a movable gate that allows water to flow under it. So, which I guess would make sense. Maybe they would use it because I know sometimes canals are used for am I thinking about it like that, right? Canals are used for sending for ship elevators and stuff. Anyways, all right. New word. We all learned a new thing, maybe. Anyways, great job, everybody. I really appreciate it so much. Some tricky words in here today. But I hope you guys learned some interesting words. There were some kind of cool ones in here today. Yeah, anyways, I'm not going to be here next week because I am going away for a little bit, but I will be back the following week. So I should be having a crossword at this time, 1300 UTC on Wednesday, March 19th. That would be the next one. Yeah, so next crossword, Wednesday, March 19th at 1300 UTC. So that will be the next one. And I hope you guys have a really good week. Yeah, thanks so much for coming out. And have a good weekend. I guess it's Friday, isn't it? Okay, anyways, I will see you guys not next week, but the week after that. And take care. Again, thanks so much for participating. If you like this, feel free to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. And also too, feel free to tell other people about this awesome activity, because that would be really great. Thanks so much, Jacqueline. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Anacol, if you are still here as well. And thank you, Itio. I'm not sure how to say your name, but if you're out there as well too. All right. Have a good one, everybody. All right. Bye.